So we finally finished the floor. Took forever. The way that Chris chose to do the battery box basically meant that it was part of the floor. It's behind us. We'll have another video about that. Having so many wires and electrical components and all the fun stuff, it really added an extra 2 weeks to what should have been a week-long project.
Yeah, she probably, I mean, it didn't. It's so much more of a job to do the batteries and everything. The floor, we just had to put the floor on top of it, but we had to know where the top of it was going to be. And, you know, make sure all of our measurements added up. You know, she probably has not realized it, but the lines in the floor align perfectly with that step up right there. I didn't just put a floor on top of it. This line matches this line.
Oh wow!
So,
I'm impressed.
these things that if I had just like done it as quick as possible, she would realize, you know, a year and a half from now in the middle of New Mexico or something, and then she wouldn't be able to live with the van, and I'd be out there tearing out flooring and trying to put everything to make it symmetrical and straight.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, basically it's my fault.
Everything takes so long because it's...
Wow. Well, we will finish this conversation later. But luckily we had access to really all the tools that we need since we're working out of the garage and out of our driveway. So the very first thing that we did was go out to my grandpa's property and just grabbed everything that we needed. Today we are heading to my grandpa's property to get the... What are we getting?
We're getting saws.
We're getting saws so we can start cutting things. And super exciting thing about today, it's Duke, I almost said Chris, is Duke and Chloe's first time riding Serenity. And they are doing amazing. There's Chloe. And then Duke is our new little co-pilot buddy, Duke. Say hi. Hello. Look at how much room she takes up. Chloe, that's going to be the spot for the fridge. Chloe, you're too big. Can you get a little bit smaller? You have 1 year to get smaller. Can you do that? I'm getting car sick. I don't know how this whole living out of a van is going to be for me. I'm going to be taking a lot of medicine. No, careful with the peacocks. Oh.
Did you get that on camera?
I did. That guy right there has no chance. Got what we came for. Throw it.
We're using a table saw. Everybody's using a table saw for this stuff. I have a table saw. I have my own contractor's table saw.
Write it down. You might forget.
It's 400 pounds, and we grabbed a construction model, or whatever you call it, a shop or a site model that was a little bit easier to maneuver. And we borrowed his miter saw because it's much nicer than mine, just in general. And, you know, keeping things square and cut straight is important. So.
And then we went on our first official Home Depot trip.
For this build.
I know. We've never been to Home Depot before.
Home Depot? What is that orange building? They don't have houses in here.
So that was fun. Going to Home Depot has become almost as exciting as going to Costco, right?
The Home Depot is always more exciting than going to Costco.
No, it's not. There's no food.
Costco, you go and spend $300 on stuff that you're going to eat. At least Home Depot, you spend $300 on stuff that's going to stick around.
I'm sorry, but I much rather have the things to eat. How can you compete with food? Come on. We do need to go to Costco, though. Van problems. So far away. Gotta make sure I get my cardio today. I'm helping out by holding Chris's bits and caulk. Hey.
Yeah.
Although next time I'm taking my own snacks.
Yeah, she gets hangry at Home Depot. It's...
Someone takes 30 minutes to like decide between one bolt and another.
It's important. Those bolts are important. I don't know, like, we're both very particular about things, and this is genuinely a spot where our particular interests like
we clash,
coincide. I mean, I'm big into like keeping my car's clean and things meticulous, and
Things meticulous.
That's what car means. We just covered that. I was like literally the first. And then she's really into home stuff and keep the home meticulous and nice. And
yeah, the garage has been quite the disaster. If you have a little bit of OCD, a do-it-yourself van build might not be for you. At least the inside of the house is clean.
Well, that's just getting outside of the context here. But
Everything's a mess.
I'm in a vehicle that we're going to live in. It's our home, and it needs to be meticulous and nice, and those bolts are going to matter. So because of our height, we couldn't use the 1.5 inch insulation. So we used 1 inch, and we bought 2x2s, and we planed them all down to 1 inch. In hindsight, this is kind of where our first regret comes in with the building of the van. We did use the factory floor. It's heavy, it's water resistant, it's scratch resistant. It's, it seemed on paper it's already cut. It seemed on paper to be like, we should use this, and it's thin.
But it's very
bouncy. It's flexible. It's flexible, and the bottom of a Sprinter van isn't just 2 levels of undulation or corrugation for rigidity. They have, the normal corrugation, then they have the drip channels where the water is supposed to go and run down so it doesn't collect anywhere. So you have 3 different tiers, and based on where we cut our foam, it wasn't necessarily always supported right on the edge. And so it made the floor a little bit less even than we would like. I mean, you can't tell now, it looks great. But it created a lot of extra headache and planning.
Understand what the point of this is. Chris has explained it to me many times, but as you can see, there's only a few patches here and there. But I hear that some people do this with a spoon, so I'm very thankful to have a roller, but still, it sucks. I'm not strong enough to get it smooth, so I have to use the back of it. I was doing it wrong. So instead of going up and down lengthwise, I'm just going side to side. May have been a little bit more of a concave than anticipated, so now it's just a lot smoother, getting a lot more done with less effort. So, yay! June 12th, beautiful weather. Don't try this at home. That sound. It's not thick enough?
It's so close. I feel like I just spent a lot of time just sitting here staring at stuff. Makes sense.
Because it's so rainy? Oh, because you're having an issue with the edges?
Well, the edges and the rain definitely doesn't help.
Beautiful.
So, when we start cleaning stuff down, we're going to have to come in here and sweep and vacuum all this out.
Oh my gosh.
Van life in the Pacific Northwest.
Trying to build a van. Oh, I got a raindrop on my camera. Gosh,
In the middle
dang
of
it.
June.
Okay, not funny.
Why is the ground so far down?
It's not. We're just getting old. And I think the plan is to put the insulation and the flooring underneath that. Is the automatic caulk gun still worth it?
Yeah. Gorilla Glue.
Is it the kind that you can reposition up to 30 minutes?
Oh, you mean like I just said? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that kind. But now it's on camera.
We're really good at this.
Okay, go get me the piece.
Yes, sir. What's the purpose of that tape?
To keep the styrofoam in place on top of the glue, but also to keep. The gaps aren't perfect on the foam, and so it'll keep them sealed. Oh no, I got adhesive on my finger. What you guys didn't see in that was I got it on my finger. Somebody else got it into. Oh, you got the part where you got the Gorilla Glue on stuff?
No.
Wasn't? Oh, okay.
Never happened. There's no evidence of it. It didn't happen.
Yeah. Once again, the electric caulk gun. Well worth it.
Cannot say. Yes. Electric caulk gun. So like, it's like the Hulk. Hulk. Why do you just?
We're just getting rid of Marvel movies now. It's it's an incredible caulk.
So we got that far, and then Chris got the floor done in like 24 hours because I got COVID. So I was not able to help. So I was quarantined. I had to stay in my room in isolation, and he hadn't gotten it yet. So he just busted out the floor and finished everything within a day and a half. So that was really productive.
Yeah,
so I guess I just have to get sick more
Being
often.
quarantined to the garage was a benefit to the build.
It's all fun and games until you have to clean up the mess. Ugh.
Said you wanted to help. But we lost those days later when I got COVID. COVID gives you foggy brain, and it was really rough. I mean, I stare at stuff a lot, just trying to think that like the next step ahead anyway. And when you can't think of what the very next step, not the step after that or the step after that, but that very next step, like.
Yeah, there's a lot of staring that I have to cut out of the videos. Like most of it. Like 4 hours to GoPro footage. I only use like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Any challenges? Like what was the most challenging piece? Oh, putting the boards together.
Okay, yeah. So we're using LifeProof flooring, and I really like it. It's easy to work with. You scribe it and snap it, and it's great. Cuts clean on a miter saw as well. But there's like 5 or 6 boards, and they do like invert them so that the patterns run opposite of each other. And when you're building the van, most of this isn't even going to be seen. There's going to be stuff on top of it. We're going to have like a 2-foot section where you can see it and walk, and once again, it's in perfect alignment with the dinette.
It's little details.
But yeah, it's you don't want to. You want to take that into consideration, that you don't want to have too obvious knots, like, oh, this, obviously it's a vinyl floor, but you don't know, you want to make it look as nice as possible. So there's a lot of juggling around, pulling out 10 boards and trying to figure out which one's going to go right in the middle of our main entry, because that's where we're going to obviously see it the most. But yeah, that wasn't too bad in the grand scheme of things. It was much harder routing around the D-rings that are in the floor. We should do like 9 of these, like, ooh, like and subscribe. Click the thing. There. Maybe it's over here. If you're watching on TV, it's nowhere, which is what we do.
No, it's going to be right here.
It's going to be right here? Oh, Jesus.
That was your fault. Play stupid games, swim stupid braces.
That was my fault. Now you guys understand how this relationship works. Bye. Caulk. C-A-U-L-K.
Is that how you're supposed to say it?
No, you just walk around Home Depot saying caulk to her. There's the caulk. Where's the caulk?
I was hangry. Caulk. You should have fed me.
C-A-U-L-K.
They have Snicker bars for a reason. All right.
Yeah.
Since this van came with the...
She gets obscene when she's hungry, so...
Did you notice I sat way back here this time, so my head wouldn't look so big in comparison to yours?
Gigantic.
That's where I'm going to sit from
I
now
felt the van shift when you moved back.